Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the LG ULTRAGEAR TEC Gauntlet Season 4. Now, we have ourselves Enigma Gaming who don't need any kind of introduction. So, without any further ado, with the 2022 season off to a flying start, how do you guys feel in the bootcamp?
Of course, it's a positive environment in the bootcamp because we just won our first tier one tournament as a team. The next day we took a break and again we are practicing even more harder and grooming more good teams. We've already forgot that we have won till the main playoffs and the grand finals are left. Focusing on that. Yeah.
Beautiful. They have that Sigma grind set going on. Talking about Sigma, talking about grind set, Excali is here. So, yeah, how you been, Excali?
Good. I've been pretty good. It's less than a month since I've joined Enigma, but it feels like I've been with them 6, 7 months. The environment, the efforts people are putting in, the mindset, mentality, everything that matches mine. And we are practicing harder to just represent India, keep on improving, play better day by day.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I hope that you continue to gel like this, man. It's been looking incredible with the way you've filled into this roster, and it feels like there's no drop off whatsoever. A month in practice, and you guys look like the same old Enigma plus like a boatload more. Sure, I think RVK can attribute to this as well because RVK has been a member of your team who's been more alive when clutch is demanded or when a big play is demanded, right? Now, RVK having that burden off your shoulders, having a player like Excali alongside you, how do you think that that's impacted your game personally?
Personally, I think with Kali, I think with any six, like, of course we are 6 man roster, so anyone can like chip in and chip out at any time. But I think this it was never a burden. Maybe we weren't as structured or we weren't as reliant on like clutches and stuff. In the round, basically we would lose our duels sometimes and it would go to clutches and like maybe I was in the situation, maybe I pulled some off, maybe I pulled like didn't pull off some. I think now Anti said we have two of the best duelists in our country right now, and I think the experience that Kali brings into the team is something that's changed a lot of stuff in our team. The decision making is now superior than what we had before. The round just plays out, and like I'm super happy that we have such a roster who don't like rely on one or two people to pull off the round or something like that. It's just a team effort. Everyone in the round does their job, and if you win, it's a positive thing for everyone.
100%, man. I like the fact that you also mentioned that you guys have two of the best duelists in the country, right? Now, I have a follow up question to this. Considering that Riot is now reworking how their duelists function, especially Yoru getting a small buff and the addition of Neon into tournament play, right? Do you guys feel like that's going to make a difference in the compositions you take, both in the way you draft and the way you draft against? Or is this going to make any kind of difference whatsoever? Because some teams, they don't feel like it's going to make a difference, some teams do. What about you?
I'm still not. I think the because I'm still new to the game, and I think the biggest point for me is still agent compositions and how does it really affect the game or not. And that's one thing I'm not sure about. Because on one side I feel like how does it make any difference? Because your playstyle, yeah, it will change of course, but it's just common sense. You will just use what you need basically, and you just adapt the problems. You approach the problems differently, but at the same time, it might be also very important. So I'm a little bit torn between. Like this is one thing I feel like have to understand, gain more experience on. So I don't think it makes a big difference though at this point of time.
One thing that has made a big difference is the way your coaching style is, right? YB, I think a lot of what you have to do is the pre prep rather than what's actually in the game, like prepping their morale, prepping their mental, getting them in their headspace. Also, making sure that in a team like EG, where there's not only a lot of experience on the roster, but you have the young bloods with the big guns behind them, right? You have Rafuel, we have a lot of those dark horses emerging, right, for 2022. So you certainly have some to look out for now. Considering that you guys are going to be running that extra man in the roster, how do you see this one working for 2022? Because running an extra man in the roster, sure, is beneficial in the sense that you always have security. There's always going to be a playing five, and you have the ability to practice with that backup, right? So, how are you guys looking to run 2022? Is there any main in, or how is the roster going to function?
The problem right now is you're not playing with a 6-man roster because Sika is still in Sri Lanka, and this still seems like future. But when he's coming back, it's more like supposed to be to see what is the best playing five maybe that week, and also have changes. Like we keep trying and seeing what is working. Maybe a player needs a break also sometime, or just needs some time off, so he can focus more on something different. And then it gives also more freedom for the players in a sense of maybe time, because right now with a strong grind, it's like every day is really exhausting, I think, for everybody, and I think it also gives everybody
Exactly.
more time to relax also.
So
Yeah.
yeah, because basically the picture, like the idea of bringing the six-man roster was one of the points where, like the Valorant scene is not like the Counter Strike days where we had tournaments out, like in a month we had only one tournament, or even 2 months we are having a one big tournament. Valorant in a month we play two, three tournaments simultaneously. So for me, having a good bench or a good, a big roster will always help, because nowadays esports is all like esports is becoming like regular sports. Like for example, football. Sometimes you need fresh legs to come in and go all guns blazing. So I think sometimes players get tired, sometimes players get fatigue, and in those kind of scenarios, then the bench, then the substitute, if the strength is high in the bench, those kind of need your extra man to come up and show his potential. So I think in esports also, if you have a good bench, definitely helps. And also, if you have a six guy, if you have a guy who is working hard behind, then all the five members of the team, they also know that, if yeah, I cannot be laid back, I cannot stop my grind, because if I stop it, someone else can take my So this is also one of the reason we discussed and we planned, bring in or move forward with a six-man roster.
For sure. I think that aspect of taking a break is very important. You can't let yourself be fatigued out by the amount of work that you're going to be putting in, because if you want to be India's best, it's not going to be that easy, right? A lot of players also have a small issue with them taking a break. Sometimes they're just not willing to. And even if they do, it really won't be that satisfactory, right? So, for any newer players watching, for any newer teams watching, how do you think they need to approach that kind of a period where they need to take some downtime and they need to reset? What do you think is the best way, Anti?
I think YB would be the best person to answer this.
By
If I
all
have
means.
any problem, I go to him only.
I think really you have to listen to yourself and really realize when is it too much, because especially me also as a younger player, I think I hit the time too much. I didn't take a break, and it resulted in worse performance, which is not good because it becomes a daily performance. So you need to listen to yourself and realize, okay, do you tilt a lot? Do you get fatigued? And then just take some time off. And I think the hardest thing is to take this time off, but it's really necessary, because you want to, like, okay, I want to grind, but you need this off times and really get away from the PC completely. Don't play other games also. I don't think it's off time. Like, really get off the PC for a while, for a week maybe, is necessary for everybody.
Person. Now, with how it's going to be in TC Gauntlet Season 4, what are you guys carrying as expectations in terms of either taking the dub or placing? How do you guys look at this season for you guys?
Yeah, we're just going to run over all the other teams. Complete whitewash.
And that's Excali for you.
Well, I guess that's a clip for you as well. So, if you want to see more of this, I think you can just at Xcali to his socials. I think we'll have that link down below as well.
At Excali VLR on Twitter.
Let's go.
Thank you. Yeah.
So, I think with 2022, you guys are looking to make a statement, right? You guys are looking to be India's best. But let's take a quick look back at 2021. Now, 2021 was a year where I think a lot of you guys individually were bridging that gap, and you've done a beautiful job at it. How could you guys describe that journey, though? Because a lot of teams are towards that kind of part in their journey, right? Where they're trying to bridge their experience. They have that innate ability. We've seen their firepower, we've seen their game. They have it. It's just the fact that they need to bridge it. You guys have been one of the few teams that have done a very good job at it. And now you guys have become India's best, justifiably so. Would you be able to describe that journey?
For me, 2021 was not very good in terms of achievements, but it was very good in terms of learning and experience, because, in 2020, I was winning everything and shifted to, IGLing or leading a team of my own. And then when I started, struggling, because that's what happens, shift to something, to a different idea or a role, need those time, those hours. So yeah, that time I didn't have the proper lineup or proper what's schedule or everything to do it in my previous organization, or the same mentality players, so that I can bring my mentality to the other guys and just work on that thing.
I had in my mind that Rafuel and RVK is a very they are young talents and they'll be big one day. So I had that in my. Eventually, when I joined Enigma, I got RVK and Rafuel, and I instantly knew that this is my project and I can work on it and make my vision a reality. The bonding which we share, the same mentality which we share, will makes us a better team in the future. So 2021 for me was a ride, not very smooth. It was very slippery, but I learned a lot.
Rula the
India is a region where you don't see many teams with a coach, right? I think in the TC gauntlet in and of itself, there's only a handful of teams that have the resources to go for a coach. So for anybody who's on the up, they might not have the facilities to either be a coach or have a coach. Do you have any kind of tips for them? Opportunity.
I think just a coach is not. It's not the idea. Okay, I need a coach. It's like you need something for a reason. Yeah, just having something just for the sake of having it is a bad approach. So if you feel like you can utilize a coach, it's a good thing. I think a team benefits from a coach when the coach has a good synergy with the team. I think this is the most important thing. Just a coach won't do you anything good. It has to fit with the team together, and then it can be really good. Like if you find the right fit for a team, it can be, I think, amazing at the same time. So I think it comes down to what do you actually need, and is that the right person you need also? Yeah. Maybe for some teams it's even better to have 6-man roster. Like you don't never know. But I think in general, coach is a good thing, of course, an important thing for every team to have. But you need to find the right person, I say.